Juliana Sawaia is a happiness at work scientist and researcher with over 20 years' experience specializing in corporate happiness. We're talking about happiness. It is important, and fostering happiness may be imperative, like absolutely critical as a business strategy in today's workplace. Maybe we can do some context setting first. Do you differentiate between what is just general happiness and what it means in terms of for organizational strategy purposes?
So first, it is important to say that happiness, it's not something that you simply find. You are not just walking on the street and you see happiness as a rainbow. So happiness is something you must cultivate. From an individual perspective or for a professional perspective, it's something that you need to cultivate. I like to say that happiness is an ongoing state of fulfillment that is cultivated when we have the autonomy to make meaningful choices that reflect our essence. And essence here means like our values, our beliefs. Every time that we are able to drive or to make meaningful choices and decisions that reflect who we are closest to happiness as a concept. The concept of happiness at work, meaning and purpose are fundamental here. And meaning involves like exercising your talents and skills in a direction that holds the greatest significance for you. And purpose is about putting the meaning into action to create impact and contribute to something greater. So when we connect with our sense of meaning and align it with purposeful contribution, happiness becomes a natural outcome. So this connection empowers us to live authentically and to thrive both personally and professionally.
I know that engagement and happiness are not necessarily the same thing. I imagine you could be engaged, but maybe still pursuing more. And maybe it's because I'm thinking of like joyful happiness. What are your thoughts on that?
Engagement can be an ingredient for happiness at work.
Okay.
The science shows like different ingredients that we can use, but one that I like most are three, like engagement, job satisfaction, and affective commitment. When people are exercising their talents and skills in the direction that are meaningful for them, probably they are going to be more engaged at work.
Let's help build a case. I know you have lots of cool stats here, just helping us understand more of this science of happiness. You've done research in this space. So, what exactly is it? Why is it important for work? What's the impact for work?
The science of happiness, we can say that is an interdisciplinary field of studies that combines insights from positive psychology, neuroscience, and behavioral science in order to understand what drives well-being, fulfillment, and positive emotions in the workplace. Research shows, for example, that happy employees are more productive, more creative, more collaborative, and better at problem solving. They build stronger relationships, they contribute to positive team dynamics, and are less likely to experience burnout and turnover. However, the global deterioration of mental health is concerning. In the 2024 State of Global Workplace report by Gallup, data shows that global employees' well-being declined from 35% to 34%. When we think about a global perspective, this 1% decline, it means a lot. And these challenges are reflected in the negative emotions experienced regularly. For example, half of US workers reported feeling stress every day. 21% feel sadness, 18% feel loneliness, and 17% feel anger. So from one side, the science shows the positive impact of happier employees. And on the other hand, we have mental health deterioration. So when organizations foster happiness by promoting psychological safety, offering opportunities for meaningful work, for example, when recognizing contribution, they create a culture where people thrive. So this is not enhances individual well-being, but also drives sustainable business outcome, such as high employee retention and many other indicators. Understanding and applying the science of happiness at work transforms organization into environments where both people and business flourish.
What role does happiness play in learning and development, and how can cultivating joy improve business outcomes?
As a L&D professional, I can say that when people are happy, their brains release chemicals like dopamine and serotonin, which boost their ability to observe and apply new information, which is all we need right now, right? Because we need their attention. The broaden and build theory suggests that positive emotions broaden our thinking, enhancing creativity, problem solving, and openness to new ideas. So over time, this broadened perspective creates an ideal environment for effective learning and professional development. So prioritizing happiness within learning and development strategy creates a cycle of growth and resilience.
Do you have recommendations for practical steps that L&D teams take to foster happiness and engagement within their organizations?
Happiness is very subjective. We need to connect it to business strategy. First, it is important to highlight that happiness should be treated as a core component of the business strategy with clear goals and measurable indicators. Begin by implementing tools to access employee well-being, such as surveys or pulse checks to gather actionable insights. So using this data to identify gaps, designing targeted interventions, and tracking process over time will help you to support the use cases. The second step is invest in training programs for leaders to understand the importance of their role in fostering a culture of happiness at work. So data shows that leaders influence up to 70% the happiness in the workplace. And one of the main mechanisms I would highlight is psychological safety. When leaders from all levels embody and champion these principles, they inspire others, creating a ripple effect of positivity through the organization.
Having the metrics is going to be hard, right? What are examples of the vanity metrics, the shallow ones that aren't really meaningful or impactful, versus the more impactful ones?
From the happiness piece, we can have some metrics around the well-being, right? How the employees are feeling today, for example, and measure it every single day and see how they are feeling, what kind of emotions they are experiencing in the workplace, how happy they are, which is a question that we can build as a letter structure, like from 1 to 10, how happy are you? And keep measuring the overall satisfaction. Combine it like with engagement, affective commitment, and job satisfaction as well. Then in another side, you have like metrics related to the business, which are performance, innovation. Then you can start identifying how people are performing, and then you can start crossing those numbers. I think the HR metrics are the best, like absenteeism or the performance indicators. They are good because most of the time the happiness teams or L&D are much more closer to HR. So it's easy for you to get these numbers.
Do you have strategies if people are feeling stressed out right now and they're looking for some opportunities to boost happiness right now?
Yes, let's talk like individuals right now, right? Because at the end, we are all workers, we are all facing our own challenges. Prioritize your relationships, including paying attention to the relationship you have with yourself. What is the essence of cultivating something? It's like to be there, to be present, to make it consistent. You can start like just being grateful as you wake up, just starting this ritual on appreciating your moment just on waking up. It's important for you to write down what areas you'd like to improve on your work, on your personal life, your physical or mental health or whatever. And start talking what progress looks like. Sometimes the progress is just for you to wake up and go to work. It's just to be present. Sometimes the progress looks like just walk around 5 minutes. That's why it's so huge, because we celebrate when you run a marathon, right? But the marathon is made sometimes for you walking for 5 minutes. So don't pay attention on the finish line, but the steps that you are giving every day, because they are going to make the difference.